Hi everybody, my name is Mrs. Metz and I'm the Instructional Resource Teacher at JP Ryon Elementary. This is my daughter, Lileah, and she's going to help me start our STEM challenge. She's pretty lucky. She doesn't actually go to JP Ryon, so she gets to do this with us today. So in your package, you should have received the packet about the STEM challenge. It's very important that you look through that and decide what parts you're going to do and understand the challenge before you begin. You also want to make sure that you have all of the materials out. So I went ahead and opened up all of the packages and laid them out on my plate. I also created a platter to build my gingerbread creation on. So I just covered a pizza pan with foil. Looks very snazzy. All right, so on my plate, I have some of the crackers had broken, so I thought, well, that's okay because I have these square-like shapes. And I also have the rectangular longer shapes. I have my fruit snacks. Try not to eat them because you don't want to run out of them before you're ready to build your house. I have my pretzels. Yeah, they're pretty yummy, huh? And the chocolate smells amazing, we've already decided. So make sure you have all of your materials ready to go from the pack. Now, you'll notice that you got a container of icing. I read up online that a really great way to make this icing harden is to add a teaspoon of cream of tartar. You can find it in your baking aisle to every 1 cup. So this is probably about 2 cups of icing. So I'm going to mix this in a bowl. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of my cream of tartar and the icing. I'm going to mix it up, and then I'm also going to spoon it into this bag. I'm going to use this as my piping bag. Now, if your parent or your loved one likes to bake, they may already have piping bags at their home, but this will make an easy one. I will put the icing into it, and I will snip the end, just a tiny bit of the corner, and you'll see a little bit later on how that allows us to control the icing that is going on the on your gingerbread house as the glue. So I'm going to pause my video, and I'll be back in a moment after we are all set up and our icing is mixed. Hello again. Okay, so I just want to catch you up to what I just spent the last couple minutes doing while I stopped the video. And after I'm done telling you what I did, if you haven't done those steps yet and you're following along, it'll be okay with you to pause and then get yourself ready so that you can continue the challenge. So while I was mixing the icing in a bowl with the cream of tartar, hoping that helps to be able to harden the icing so it works really well like glue, Lileah was working on her design. Part of the reason why we're calling this a STEM challenge is because the challenge is to see if your design will stand on its own. It's not very easy to make a gingerbread house that stands on its own. So Lileah, show us your design. I'll hold it up to the camera. And can you tell us a little bit about it?
So, let me see. So, these are pieces of chocolate. I put a CH so I can remember that those are chocolate. And then, so I put a G so I can...
Graham cracker?
Yeah, graham cracker. And then, this is also a graham cracker. These graham crackers are square, but this one is a rectangle one. And then these are little carrot gummies, and we only had 2 of them, so I put 2 gummies. So, 2. And these are pretzels, and there are 2 pretzels. And then there are 6 of these. The floor, the front wall, the back wall, the top wall, and 2 sides.
All right, well, let's get started. So you can see at this point in time, I put all of the icing that was mixed into the baggie. I haven't cut the hole yet. So if you are ready, then let's just keep watching. But if you haven't gotten all of these steps down for preparation, I suggest you pause the video and then come back in a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna snip a tiny hole. And also, oh, by the way, I did go get some paper towels. So that way we have, you know, just in case it gets a little messy. All right, so here goes. I'm gonna snip I should probably do this with my right hand. And if you're very tiny, you might wanna ask a parent to do this because if you make the hole too big, it's gonna come out really fast and you're gonna waste some of your icing. So it will take some adjustment. I suggest you make the hole as small as possible and let some icing out, and then if you want it a little bit bigger, you can make an adjustment, but you can't get smaller after you already make a hole. All right, so hopefully I followed my own directions there. All right, so we are going to put the floor of the gingerbread house down, and one little trick coming from a baker that I know, they put a little bit of icing on the bottom of their cake and stick it to the pan so it stays put. So think of this icing as your glue. This is going to help you be able to get your gingerbread house to stay put and stand on its own. And once it's hardened after a little bit of time, maybe like an hour or so, then you'll have a decoration for your house. All right, so here goes. We're going to work on our gingerbread house. I'm gonna pause my video and then we'll be back to see how it's going. Okay, so I thought we would update you on how it's going. When we looked at the design that Lileah made, we noticed that she had the floor, she had 4 walls, and she decided on a design that was more like a cube and it didn't have a pointed roof. So I just want you to know that in your design that you decide to do, you can make your gingerbread house have 2 rooms. You can have it make a triangular roof. You could make the roof out of any of the materials that you want. You're not following her design. The only reason that we're doing this video and her design is a little on the simple side is because we're trying to make the video short. But I will tell you, I've already given her permission when our video is done that she can add anything she wants to her design that she originally made. So Lileah, at this point in time, how do you feel about your design? Do you think so far you have a design that will stand on its own for a while?
Yes.
Do you have any changes that you want to make to your design before we finish? No? Okay, well why don't you show us how you do the piping with the icing, and let's put your roof on while they're watching.
So, I have decided, first I wanted to go all around, but I realized all I needed to do is put a tiny bit right here. And you don't have to do that. You can go all the way around, but I just did it in the corners, so it's not
Can you do a little bit more on
too
this side?
much.
Do
Yeah.
you think that's enough? So you're conserving your icing. I think she has plans to decorate with the icing when we're done. All right, let's see how you put. Oh, sorry, what?
I don't, but I might.
All right, let's see how it goes with the roof.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Okay, do you want to put a little bit of icing right there on that corner? Glue that up?
Yeah. So
I said glue that up. Put some glue on that. Make sure it sticks together really nicely.
I'll also do it on this side too.
Okay. All right, so it looks like her design was successful. I do think it was a safe design, and I am pretty proud of you. We're going to keep working on our house, but I wanted to give you an idea, especially if parents are still watching. What other ideas could you teach when using gingerbread house making in this STEM project? So first of all, in the packet, excuse me Lileah, while you're working, I will just talk about the packet. There is another extension activity of graphing. And there are multiple vertical graph lines where you can put the candies that were used, or the next page has different materials that were used, and students can write like pretzels, fruit snacks, graham crackers, and then they can count up the total when they're done with their creation.
I have a new idea.
Okay, go ahead. You have a new idea. I love new ideas.
I have a design to put on the roof.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna put some lines so it looks kind of cool because it was kind of plain on the roof.
Okay, don't want it to look plain. All right, you keep decorating and keep going with your design. And there are a lot of age ranges that might be doing this activity at home, and I wanted you to be thinking about all of the different math ideas that you could teach while doing the STEM project. So we already worked on counting and graphing, which is a perfect second grade skill right now. And it's also something that our youngest of students can do as long as they can count or have your support to count. Students who are in second grade, third grade, and above could also work with topics such as measuring, and you can measure in the standard units of inches, and you could measure in the metric system using a ruler. You could measure the area in inches or centimeters if you are in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, and our 5th graders even work with volume. So you could measure the volume of the inside of the house that you make. Now, if you have a student in 5th grade who really loves to learn math, another great idea is to look up online how to calculate the surface area of the figure that they've done. Now, if you've stuck to rectangles and squares, that would be a really great idea. It might be a little bit more difficult if you have triangles or other shapes that you cut your graham crackers into. Again, we have to think about the challenge. Did she meet the challenge with the constraints she was given? And that's something you want to ask yourself. So in your manual, there are lots of activities besides graphing and counting. One of the most important ones in terms of a STEM challenge or an engineering challenge is to make sure you reflect on the work that you've done so far. I highly recommend you take time to do the reflection because that helps you learn about your design and it helps you analyze whether or not you met the challenge with the constraints or not. So I just want to say before we end 2 things. First of all, Lileah, this looks fabulous. I love your design. It's already matching so well to the design that you drew in the packet. Do you feel like you met the challenge?
Yes.
Awesome. Good job.
And I just finished.
Yes, awesome. Let's check it out. What do you guys think? It looks very inviting. All right, I want to thank Title I. I want to thank our parent liaison, Ms. Clausen, and our administration for making sure, and all of the staff that helped put these materials together, for making sure that we have a great educational activity to do during our winter break. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful break. Thank you for your help today. Awesome.